All right. Work together, 15-4. Here's our directions. Use the Interstate Tires worksheet and statement of stockholders' equity below. A form for the balance sheet is below. Your instructor will guide you to the following examples. It says, prepare a balance sheet for the current year. Now I need you to think back to like day 3 of accounting. Back? I know.
Assets plus liabilities equals owner's equity. No, that's dead on.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Right words.
Wrong order.
The equal sign is in the wrong spot. So, but that's what I need you to remember is our accounting equation of A equals L plus OE.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, I got my track.
Okay. So, our balance sheet proves our accounting equation of assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. In this case, stockholders' equity. So there are 2 parts to our balance sheet. The top portion is our assets. The bottom portion is our liabilities and our owner's equity, stockholders' equity. Between the 2, you're going to have a total halfway down that's going to give you your total assets. And then on the very bottom, you're going to have a total that's going to equal liabilities plus stockholders' equity. Those 2 numbers need to equal. If they don't, you need to find and fix that. So before our balance sheet was relatively easy because we didn't have lots of other accounts. But now we have contra accounts. Okay, so what are some contra accounts? Well, I have an account called office equipment. Immediately after office equipment, I have accumulated depreciation office equipment. Office equipment is an asset, has a debit normal balance. Accumulated depreciation is a contra account to it. It has a credit. So I have my equipment account, and then I have my depreciation. So what am I going to have to do to those 2? Subtract. Right? Because I have a debit and I have a credit, and then the total is going to need to go to the side. You know how we slid them to the side on our income statement? We're going to need to do that as well. So when we look at our worksheet, how do I know where assets end and my liabilities start? Payables, right? Payable, the very first payable right here. Okay. I don't know what line that is either. Okay. So I think it's line 13. Everything 1 to 12 needs to go on the very top portion of our balance sheet. Okay. So let's get that on there. You need to have that open. We're doing Interstate Tires. Name of our document is a balance sheet. Now, the date for a balance sheet is always 1 day. We're saying on this date, this is what our accounting equation was. There's no way I could say this is what it was for my fiscal period. But on the last day of our fiscal period, it is going to be that amount. Last day of our fiscal period is December 31st. Okay, so we have to put some assets, headings on here. We have 2 types of assets we're dealing with. Regular assets and plant assets. Plant assets is the equipment stuff. So on line number 1, I'm going to put in the word assets. No numbers. Also notice on our balance sheet, we have 3 columns. Always remember, our totals go on the far right column. We use the other ones just to get our totals there. Okay? So, what is my first asset account? Cash. So I put in cash. Nope. I have to put in current assets. Sorry. Current assets is our heading. Then my first current asset account is cash. So, and that has a balance of $12,848. Then I have petty cash, accounts receivable. Below accounts receivable, I say less allowance for uncollectible accounts because that is a contra account. I do the math between the 2. I take 8,000. Subtract the 2. The difference goes in the middle column. And you will notice that is the right here on line 4. I'm really going down all of these accounts all the way through line 12 is what I need to put on there. So just keep putting your assets on there. Now, merchandise inventory, which number do I use? No. No different than allowance for uncollectible accounts. I did not put the 847 number. I did the 2527. So you have to get all of your numbers from the balance sheet column. So when I look here, I need to use these numbers. Don't use trial balance because allowance for uncollectible accounts, merchandise inventory, all of these assets are being affected by an adjustment, and I need to account for that.
I'm actually going against it. Well, sure, I'll make it 360.
Now, below prepaid insurance, we're going to put in a heading that says total current assets. Because I have cash through prepaid insurance are going to be our current assets. Current assets are assets that are easily liquidable and we can turn into cash fast, okay? So, I'm going to add up my 12, 848, 300, 15, 9, 11, 61, 188, 999, 25, 854, 59, 1,368, and I have a wrong number here, and 3,000. And when I add them all up, it's going to give me my total current assets.
$4. No, 100, 200, 4,000. No. 6,000.
I didn't do the math. I'm just getting the stuff up there. Because otherwise, you guys just wait for me to do the math. Or Schufeld to do the math.
So what's the answer? I don't get how you know the order.
It's right here. It is all, everything on, get your directions down. Go to your worksheet on your directions. Yeah. It is exactly the order listed on there. And the amounts. Nope.
I added it wrong, dang it.
I would agree. Now, I did plant assets up here as well. Now, plant assets, because we have so many contra accounts, I list the main one like office equipment, and directly below that I say less the accumulated depreciation. And again, they go right next to each other, and then the difference is going to go in the middle column. So I have my 18,000 is the value of my asset, and I have depreciation of 13. So my book value of that asset is $4,741.13. Same thing will happen for store equipment. Basically, what they are saying is if I sold all of my office equipment right now, it would be worth $4,741.13. That's what book value is. Okay? Now, how do I find total plant assets?
You add all the assets together.
No.
Or you add those two, the two on the right.
The 4,741 and the 7,947. I add those two together.
You subtracted those two on the left.
Yes, I subtracted these two to get that one. If I add up my two plant assets, that will give me my total for plant assets. Then I add my current and my plant assets to get my total assets. So, liabilities is straightforward. The very first thing we have to do is we have to put our heading, and our heading is liabilities. Okay? Now, We have current liabilities and long-term liabilities, but I will tell you in our example right now, we have no long-term liabilities. An example of a long-term liability is something that's going to take a long time to pay off, okay? Like, Carlin, a mortgage, okay, those types of things. We don't have any examples for interstate tires, so I'm going to put in my heading of current liabilities followed by a colon. Then, on my instructions, or excuse me, on my worksheet, every account that says payable, so starting on line 13 to 24, okay? You need to get the numbers from the balance sheet column. So you're going to go ahead and plug them in. So I'm going to do accounts payable.
Accounts payable. Tell me I have to restart now. All right, that's the first one. I have to restart. Well, maybe it should have been spun around. We're trying to prove it. Oh my God, I have to restart now. Can you please be quiet? Can you please be quiet? Federal income tax. Yeah, never mind. I can't do it. I was like, stand going on. Oh, Daddy went to the recording. Oh. He's not disrespectful.
I did.
Thanks. Can you leave it like that for a little bit? Because I can retype all my numbers. I don't even need your answers because I did it myself. What do you want? Okay, so what do you want right now?
So all of your liabilities, when they're done, it's a really easy one. They just go in the middle. So accounts payable, all the way down to dividends payable, you list them, except I put the wrong number again here. And then you will add them up.
Oh, come on. I did it wrong. Oh, I did.
So you list all your liabilities, and guess what you do?
You add them.
Add them. Okay? You add up your total liabilities, and the amount goes here on the right-hand side. Now, stockholders' equity. Do not get your numbers from your worksheet. You have to use your statement of stockholders' equity. Okay? So, when you get to your liability section, you need to move and get your information from your statement of stockholders' equity. Please remember that. So, to complete your statement of stockholders' equity, you start with your capital stock, and your capital stock number we get right here is $110,000. Again, right from there. Then you do your retained earnings. Retained earnings number I get right here is $100,706.83. Then I go through and they say total stockholders' equity. My total stockholders' equity is $210,706.83 because it is right from your statement of stockholders' equity. It's already added up for you. If you try to use your numbers from your balance sheet, it won't come out because it does not have any, you don't have any of your net income put into there. So again, stockholders' equity, remember when you get to that, you have to move to your other statement. So my my total liabilities that I got was $25,196.05. If I add that to 210,706.83, I get 235,902.88. Right there, I do a happy dance. Why? When I look here, you will notice, I forgot to fill in my heading of total liabilities and stockholders' equity. My total liabilities and stockholders' equity, this number right here, must equal that number there. Now, Aplia automatically put these lines here because the point of a balance sheet is to prove that our assets equal your liabilities plus your owner's equity. Assets totals there in the middle of the page like I talked about, liabilities and owner's equities on the bottom. These two need to equal. A little bit of a pain when they were off.